It's the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, and I tell you what, the results last week was watching them very closely for Western Eyre Netball, just to make sure we'd have a correspondent for this week, and thankfully we do, and she's happy. So that's good news. Reanna Freeman, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Excellent. Good to have you back, and congratulations through to a grand final. You've got to be delighted with that, right?
Very exciting and nerve-wracking times all at the same time.
Indeed. So we'll get to the A grade a little bit later on, but bearing in mind we've got matches from Saturday and from Sunday to go through here, and we might start with the Junior Cs, whose matches were played on the Saturday at Penong, and Western United went through to the grand final. They beat Ceduna Blues.
They did indeed. So you got to remember when I say these scores, these are only, 8, 9 and 10-year-olds.
Little babies, yep.
They are in their first year of affiliated netball. So it was Westie's had a good win by 7 on 11 and Blues 4. And Westie's best was Charlie Cox and Blues' best was Kira Blums.
Yep. Excellent. So we'll have a look at Junior A and B on those matches were played on Sunday a little bit later on, but we'll stick with the matches that were played on Saturday at Penong. Now we'll go to the D grade, and it was Western United, their number one team in this grade, taking on Ceduna Blues, and the Blues went through.
They did indeed. It just goes to show you can never underestimate teams in the final. So Blue had a 4-goal win, and this was a really tight game. And from the noise that was being made, it was quite a good game. So Blues would be really happy with winning that one, because they did have a few teams in this prelim, and this is the only one that they won. So well done to the Blues getting through in the D grade. Spoiler
alert, because in the C grade Blues were playing again. That means they lost. And they lost to Thevenard 49-30.
Yeah, so a 19-goal win. Sevi, just a very well-played game by Sevi. They came out far too strong. Blues' Kelly Thompson was best. She's actually a really good player and played a great game. And for Sevi, it was Corinne Cummings.
Okay. B grade results. Again, spoiler alert, Blues were in action here against Westies. And nothing sucks worse than losing a preliminary final, except losing a preliminary final by 1 goal, which is what happened here. Westies 51, Ceduna Blues 50.
This was an absolute cracking game. If you can go back to the second semi, Blues played Hawks and had a draw and played overtime, and this game was much the same. Blues were up by 3 or 4 pretty much the whole game. It was sort of goal for goal in the first quarter, and then Westies just sort of had a really strong comeback in that last quarter. Rhea Sleep for Westies was outstanding, and Blues were obviously very disappointed, but they put up a good fight, and they've been a really quality side all year. So Westies would be really happy with that 1-goal win. Like I said, Rhea played fantastically. Katrina Blum for Blues, she was their best. She's their goal shooter, and she's a very steady hand and a good calming player in the team. So obviously she was disappointed with the loss, but well done to Westies with that 1-goal win to get them into the grand final.
Yes, and then the A grade from Saturday at Penong. The nervous, I think it's fair to say, West Coast Hawks taking on the reigning champs from 2019 in this competition in Thevenard. And really, in the end, it wasn't much of a contest. The West Coast Hawks absolutely thrashed Thevenard, and we didn't see this coming, 53-35. As a coach, you must have been delighted with that.
I was indeed. I think we sort of had a bit of a different approach to this game, learnt from our mistakes in the second semi, and learnt what a difference nerves can do, and how much better you play when you come in a bit confident. I think Sevi got 3 or 4 goals before Hawks even got a score on the board, and normally that might rattle the girls a little bit, but it didn't. They just stayed cool, calm and collected and fought back and ended up winning the first quarter by 3. So I think it was about an 8 or 9 goal turnaround just in that first quarter. So that sort of set the scene for the rest of the game. In the second quarter, at half-time, they're up by 9. Third quarter, it was goal for goal, so the lead only kept by 9. But in that fourth quarter, we really brought it home and were up by 18. Nissa Bell was our best in wing attack. She was outstanding, fed the ball beautifully and just sort of calmed the nerves of everyone, being a bit of a veteran in the team. And Marnie Trowbridge through the centre for Sevi was the best. She played a really strong game and delivered the ball as well. So Hawks very happy with that one. I think Sevi disappointed, but it definitely wasn't the best game we've seen them play all year. But well done to Hawks for bringing it on the day.
Indeed. And normally, for you, after a big Saturday's action, and you've got a grand final to look forward to, you'd be able to settle the nerves on a Sunday, but not to be this week. You had to head back up the highway to Ceduna and watch on as mum on this occasion, as the West Coast Hawks Gold team took Caniba to extra time in the Junior Bs. What about this game?
Oh, it was just an outstanding game on both fronts, both Hawks and Caniba, such a talented little bunch. Nerves, you could see, rattled both teams. I think Caniba had nerves of steel in the first half, and then in the second half when Hawks sort of had a bit of a fight back, that's when Caniba's nerves come out. Just really good to watch this age group and both the Junior A. It's just such a talented group we've got with both Hawks and Caniba coming up through both clubs. As you said, Hawks were down and then it ended up being a draw, playing overtime and Hawks winning by 1. So it was an absolutely outstanding game, 5 full quarters of netball. Best for Hawks was Reanna Freeman and best for Caniba was Kian Colbung, where she's a fantastic little player. So bad luck to Caniba. They really put a good fight on the court, but Hawks too strong just by that one little goal.
Kobe takes after mum, obviously.
Oh, too many people were giving Dad credit. It's definitely all from her mother.
Fair enough. The Junior A results. So Caniba here taking on Thevenard. It was Thevenard in the end who rattled off a 10-goal win against Caniba, 41-31. So through to the grand final they go.
Yeah, they did. I thought Caniba would have come out on top, and I think that's who I tipped last week. I think it was a really close game in the first half, and then Sevi just got settled. Poppy Fawcett was Sevi's best. I mean, she's a fantastic goalie. She's really cool, calm, shoots beautifully, just an all-round nice kid and plays really well on the court. For Caniba, their best was Madalena Pil-Coombs, and she has had an outstanding year. I mentioned her name quite a bit through association and winning trophies and everything else. So I'm glad she got the best. She'd be really disappointed with the loss, but really proud in herself of the effort she put on the court.
For sure. Now, let's have a look, shall we, at the medal winners. Now, when was your association count held?
So we didn't do much of a count. We just did more of a presentation straight after the A-grade footy. Just due to COVID, we kept it short and sharp, but still gave the honour and respect to those winners that they deserved. And it worked really well, actually, because there was a massive crowd and, plenty of cheers when the winners were announced. So well done for Western Eyre for making that decision.
All right. So let's go through the winners, shall we? How did it all work out?
So in the D grade, the runner-up was Jaylene Ware from Ceduna Blues on 19, and the winner was Mia Shippard from Westies on a whopping 43. So she didn't just win, she won by a lot, so well done to both those girls. In the C grade, the runner-up was Bronnie Workman from Westies on 24. So Bronnie is an absolute veteran of the game, so good to see she's still out.
What a legend. Go, Bronnie.
I know, and in the C grade, the best was another veteran on the court, and that's Amy Fackless, and she come through with a win on 30. In the B grade, the runner-up was Katrina Blums, and I just spoke about her before, about what a fantastic goalie she is, on 38, and I hope you've got some music queued up, because the B grade best and fairest was the absolute veteran and legend, Cindy Best.
How could I not?
On cue.
How could I not? I knew this was coming. Yes, there you go, Cindy. Can't say I wasn't prepared this time. Didn't quite get to the chorus, but anyway, we'll move on. Well done, Cindy. And she may have a role to play in a different grade on the weekend. We'll get to that.
Absolutely. Best under 21 was McKenna Reedy from the Hawks. She plays for our centre and is an outstanding player. She did really well this season. A-grade runner-up was another Hawks girl, Alana Beard. She's been fantastic in defence, and she was runner-up on 41 points. And our A-grade best and fairest is a player who is completely underrated. She's quiet. She works hard. She's clean and a beautiful player at both ends, and that's Nikki Sleep from Thevenard. So well done to all the winners. Congratulations, and you go down in history as the first trophy winners for the Western Eyre Netball Association.
That's right. Good stuff. All right, so that leads us to grand final day. Now, first of all, where will these matches be played?
They will be played at Ceduna at the Blues home ground.
Okay, so Ceduna Blues doing the hosting. We start with the Litlands. And we're going to go through these from the juniors up. So the Junior C Grand Final, Canibba taking on Western United. Who's going to win that one?
They played each other in the second semi, and Canibba won by 1 in the very end. Look, this is a really young age, a hard one to call. I think Canibba will go in favourites. They have beaten everybody by a lot all year until finals. So Canibba would be favourites, but I'm going to tip Westies because my niece plays in that team.
Fair enough. Junior Bs, I reckon the West Coast Hawks are going to win this one.
I reckon you could be right because it is West Coast Hawks gold versus West Coast Hawks navy. So we are pretty stoked that regardless of what happens on Saturday, we are going to get a premiership shield for this grade. Never an easy one to play your own side, but it's going to be very even because they've played each other twice throughout the year and they've won 1 each. So I just reckon Hawks will win that one.
Yeah, they will, and hopefully a medal for young Kobe, just to match her mum's medal, perhaps. We'll talk about that later on. Junior A, West Coast Hawks again in action here against Thevenard. Now, a bit of a surprising matchup. I think we were expecting Canibba versus the Hawks, but Thevenard have been there and thereabouts throughout this season as well.
They have indeed. Look, Hawks have beaten Sevi by quite a bit throughout the year, but the Sevi we've seen in the final series was most definitely not the Sevi that has played throughout the year, which we have spoken about quite a bit through this season about finals is completely different. I think Hawks will still go in hot favourite with the best and fairest winner, Chloe Evans, having an outstanding season in the Junior A. So I would have to tip Hawks for this one.
All right. We go to the seniors. D grade, Western United, their second side taking on Ceduna Blues. Their only representatives on their home deck this weekend. So can the Blues win this one?
Look, they've come from third and they've had a bit of an upset as they've come through the finals. I think Westies will go in hot favourites. But, look, Blues are going to have the crowd. This is one of their only, I think their only team in the finals. So I think they will have plenty of people behind them. They've got the home ground, but most definitely Westies will go in favourites.
Okay. We move to the C grade, Western United again in action, this time against Thevenard. And Westies have been the masters of this grade for most of the year.
They have indeed. So you've got Bronnie Workman and Amy Fackless, who are both the best and fairest and runner-up representing each side here. Westies, they played in the second semi and Westies won by 19 and they beat them throughout the year by 13 and 12. So Westies again going as hot favourites. Bronnie Workman in goal shooter, she's pretty hard to stop. So I would be thinking Westies would come home with the win there.
Okay. We get to the B grade and it will be the West Coast Hawks in action against Western United. Surprise preliminary final winners there. So Hawks will start warm favourites here.
We will indeed. Our side's looking a little bit different after having a few injuries throughout the year and a couple of pregnancies. So definitely a bit of a new lineup going into the grand final. We're pretty lucky we've got quite a bit of depth throughout our whole club, so it hasn't upset too many things. Westies have come from fourth to make the grand final, and the team they'll be lining up at the grand final is not a team we've really played. So both teams looking a little bit different as they have throughout the season. So I think this is really anyone's. Hawks will go in hot favourites, but I think they're going to have to work pretty hard and come out from the very first whistle to get away with this one.
Yep, I think you're right. But the next game, I'll be honest with you, I've got absolutely no idea who's going to win this one, and that's what you want in a grand final. The West Coast Hawks taking on Wirrala, the old Midwest Cup in a grand final for Western Eyre Netball. The rivalry renewed on the biggest stage of them all.
Absolutely, and to give a bit of history, the last grand finals that Wirrala won were in 2017, and that was actually the fourth grand final they won in a row. They've got an outstanding team and just are really good when they come to finals. I remember speaking to Emma Willis after the second semi and said to her, were you nervous coming into the game? And she said, nah, I was built for finals netball, and she really is. She's cool, calm and collected, her and Sophie in goals, and be interesting to see if Cindy Best takes the court or whether she starts on the bench. You never really know how they're going to line up. They've got a very versatile team. And then if you look at the West Coast Hawks, the first time we ever played in a grand final was in an A-grade grand final was in 2013, and we played Woodner and we lost in overtime by, I think, 2. And then the following year we made the grand final for the second and last time, and that was in 2014 against Wirrala, and we lost by 11. So the last time we were in a grand final was against Wirrala, and we are about to take it again this Saturday. Hawks lineup looking a little bit different with Carly Kayser out hurting her knee, which is a bit of disappointment for Hawks. But again, we've got good depth and good B grades who will come up and help us out. This will be an absolute cracking game at 1:15. I coach these girls, so I think Hawks, if we can take what we did in the prelim final to this game, we can absolutely get over the line. Wirrala are very experienced in finals. Nerves don't seem to get to them. So I think it's just going to come down to who can control the nerves, who can get some goals in and, come out winners of the day. And I personally hope it's Hawks.
Well, I'll tell you now, at the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, we don't tolerate losing grand finals. So Nicole McMahon in the Mallee, of course, she's got her premiership medal. We'll be chatting with her later in the program. So I expect that you'll be wearing one next week when we talk to you.
Look, I sure hope so. I definitely don't think it's easy. I'm lucky enough that I coach both the A and the B grade, and I've got both sides in. So I'm hoping for two. I'm not accepting one or none. I want both. I want to be selfish. So either way, I just think what the Western Eyre Netball Association has done this year out of what was happening at the start of the year is absolutely fantastic. It's a credit to each and every club. Everyone's just come to the table with the best intentions, and I think with all the stoppages and everything else that's been going on, just a shout out to everyone, all the volunteers, all the work they've done, and now it's all about to pay off, sit back and enjoy the grand final up at the Blues ground.
Indeed, and at this time next week, we'll probably be playing this for someone. You're simply the best. Either you or Cindy. Hopefully it's for you, mate. All the best. Settle the nerves and good luck on Saturday. The Western Eyre Peninsula Western Eyre Grand Finals, of course. Good luck to the Hawks. Good luck to everyone hitting the court, and we'll catch you next week, mate.
No worries. Thanks for having me.